Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and for the next 20 minutes or so, more or less, we're going to be talking to Clinton Miller about everything having to do with politics of nutritional supplements. And by the way, please visit the link on my website to Clinton Miller. Just click on the link under Clinton Miller. It's right there on the front page, where you will have access to the newest Clinton Miller bill that we're going to talk about here shortly. And let's get politically active. Now, Clint, what does D-Shay effectively allow us to do? What are the merits of D-Shay?
Well, here are the merits of D-Shay. It allows any person who wants to put anything in a bottle, any little person that wants to make a company, they can make a claim that it will change the structure or function of the body, period. Now, in order to be able to do that, they have to submit to the Food and Drug Administration the substantiation for those claims.
Yeah. Okay, which Longevity has done, ladies and gentlemen. In abundance, by the way. Longevity has your back on this particular issue. So now, D-Shay's been the law of the land for quite a while, but the FDA, of course, is tricky, and they're trying to do an end around, and we talked to Jonathan Emord about that a little while ago. So what's your take on the latest activity of the FDA to gut D-Shay, and what can we do about it?
Well, I think that Jonathan Emord is right on target when he says that the attempt of the industry now is that they're just going to buy out the little dietary supplement companies that are willing to make a few $1 million with a simple buyout, and they're going to become drugs. Now, the minute that you take a dietary supplement, for example, you could take any of the supplements that Longevity is selling right now, and you can turn them into a drug by making a disease claim for it. If he says that this, instead of making a structure-function claim, you make a disease claim that it will help prevent, for example, asthma or cure a cold. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned the bill that is now on the link, because let's go to H.R. 2908. I always like the offensive. I enjoy a good battle, but I like to be on the offensive because I found that once we know how to change the law, and we've changed the law on a state, federal, and national level over and over again, this bill, H.R. 2908, now, let me explain a few things so that everybody's up to speed on this. We have a Congress that lasts 2 years. Every Congress lasts 2 years. Ingrain that in your mind. When you speak of a Congress, you say, which Congress? Well, we're now in the 113th Congress. And you can tell how long we've been having Congresses by multiplying 2 times 113. We've been making laws in Congress for 226 years. Now, in the last Congress, in the 112th Congress, there was a wonderful bill that was introduced, a wonderful bill. It's a very short bill. Anybody can get it, and I think it's on your web page now. Is that correct? Dr.
Yes,
Glidden?
it is.
Okay. Now, anybody, how do they...
Yes, it is.
Do your listeners know how to do that? They know how to pull that down?
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's very easy. It's right there on the front page under your name. Just click on Clinton Miller on the front page of the website, and you'll have access directly to the bill.
To 2908. Okay, now let's talk for a minute about this bill.
Correct.
Because this is the offensive. Once we get this bill passed, we're going to blow the top off of the monopoly. And we do have a powerful monopoly in the medical profession and in big pharma. But this bill will allow people to make testimonials, and will allow companies that have these testimonials to publish these testimonials. Now, people think, you mean we have to pass a law to give a person the right to tell what they think about a product? And the answer is yes, because the Food and Drug Administration, together with the Internal Revenue Service, has opened up a war against health testimonials. This is their war. Their offensive is that they want to take all health testimonials off of any web page, off of any literature that any company is putting out. Now, I have not seen Joe Wallach's files, but I would dare guess that every day Joe Wallach is getting dozens, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of testimonials telling how wonderful his products are. These are heartfelt, believing testimonials where people have taken the product, they've either improved, mitigated, or treated or cured anything from diabetes, you name it, the whole spectrum. Now, here's an area that the Food and Drug Administration has thought, if we can stop testimonials, we can stop the growth of the health foods industry, because this is what's kept the industry alive. Up until now, people have usually given these testimonials to each other. They'll call up personally and say, I've got to call you. I was in terrible pain until I took Joe Wallach's products. And so they would tell them to each other. And then sometimes, if they're generous enough, they will call the company and they'll give it to the company. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go through why we need to get this bill reintroduced. Every Congress, every bill that has not been passed, and there are hundreds, thousands of them that have been introduced in that Congress, if they don't get passed, they die. So as of January 1st, every bill that was introduced in the last 2 years died. And 2908 is dead. So we're talking about a dead bill. Why are we talking about it? Because the way to make it come to life, the beautiful thing about us with this marvelous system we have in America, we can make these bills come alive every 2 years in a miraculous revival. All we have to do is to get a senator or a representative to reintroduce the bill. And that's what we're asking our people. Now, I'm going to have a form letter, and it'll be on the webpage. Excuse me, Dr. Glidden, because as I've explained to you, at 90 years of age, I've not come into the electronic age. I'm going to express more ignorance on this. I don't know how it works, but I do know that there's a tool out here we've not
That's
used
all right,
yet.
Clint. We know how it works, and we're here to help you, buddy, so there's no problem there.
Okay. Well, now, then, as soon as I can, I'm going to get to you the form letter, and the first person we're going to go after is Rand Paul. Now, let me explain a little bit of 2908. If those people are already looking at the bill, I hope that they'll print it off, put it in a file, and put it in the very top level of the very most important things they have, because 10, 20, 30 years from now, when we get this bill enacted into law, they'll be able to look their children in their eyes, and they're going to be able to say, we have changed the federal law. And because of that, you now can learn quickly and immediately about the marvelous effects of all these dietary supplements that we have. Okay, now let's read the bill at the top of it. It says the 112th Congress, first session. Every Congress has 2 sessions, 1 year at a time. We're now in the first session of the 113th Congress. And then it says H.R. 2908. Now, it's to protect the First Amendment rights of individuals to share their experiences and perceptions of the effects of foods and dietary supplements. Now, you would think that we don't have to pass a law for that. For those people who are religious, they know that when they go to church, many churches, they stand up and they give testimonials. They give testimonials about their belief of what you need to do in order to have a good life in the next world and have a good life here. Now, fortunately, the war that we won over freedom of religion protected it so that the government has not come against religious testimonies. We're not talking about that, but second only to religious freedom is health freedom. That's the battle you and I have inherited from our forefathers. They won the one on religious freedom. They got the wonderful First Amendments and all of the freedoms that we have on religion. And it's resulted in a wonderful time when people with a minority religion like I have can sit down and talk with people with a majority religion without getting angry or burning or hurting people. Okay, now, we read what this bill was about. It says in the House of Representatives, now HR stands for House of Representatives. When we get our bill introduced, hopefully it will say S, which stands for the Senate. So that you have to introduce a bill both in the Senate and in the House. and then they both have to agree on an acceptable language, and then they enact it into law, and then the president signs it. Now, this bill, you'll notice that the next line it has is September the 13th, 2011. That means for 2 years, this bill has been sitting in the House with no co-sponsors. That is the most beautiful word in the English language. The word co-sponsor is the reason we got the Proxmire bill passed, because there's not a person listening on this program that cannot persuade his or her congressman or representative or senator to co-sponsor a bill. If it's a good, reasonable bill, we'll teach you how to do that. And it's first you have to ask for it, and then you have to give them reasons. And they want to know it. Your congressman, I don't agree with the people who give Congress a low rating. I just don't, because I ran for the Senate back in 1976, and I got to know the inside of the wonderful people that serve in our Congress. Now, they need help. They need our help. They need us to get down to the point where we make these bills simple, so that they can say, oh, well, I understand. You mean you simply want the right to have your company reprint these testimonials? And you say, that's it. You got it. Okay. Now, this bill, you'll notice, was introduced in 2011 by who? By Paul, Mr. Paul. He introduced the following bill, which is referred to the Committee on Energy and Commerce. Now, these bills are always introduced to a committee, and that's where they have hearings, and that's where I've testified many times before Congress for or against bills that I like. Now, this is the Ron Paul, the famous Ron Paul, the famous libertarian, the famous man from Texas. And fortunately for us, he has a son that is as great as he is, or potentially greater. And
hang on to that thought, Clint. Hang on to that thought. We're up against a hard break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're creating a parade that our political representatives, our congressmen and senators, are going to come along the ride for. Benjamin Rush, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, he put his life, his liberty, and his fortune on the line so that the United States could be born, said it best. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize itself into a dictatorship. To restrict the art of healing to one class of men and women and deny equal privileges to others will constitute the Bastille of medical science. And that's what we're talking about with Clint Miller today. This is what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. It is illegal for you, me, or anybody else to tell a testimony of our experience with our health in relationship to a disease process. We can tell that to our friends, but we can't put it in print. We can't put it on the web. We can't, make it public because that's illegal. And that's the bill that Clint Miller has. It's HB 1208. You can get information about it right now on the website. And you stick with us. In the weeks and months to come, we are going to be forwarding a political action campaign here with a form letter that you can print out and sign and send to your representative. We're going to generate a grassroots coalition here to make a difference, to make it so that it is, in fact, legal for us to tell whoever we want what our experience with science-based, clinically verified health recovery with medical nutrition is all about. And this is a big deal. This is a big deal here. We got to thank Clint Miller for it. Clint, we've got 4 minutes left. So wrap it up and put a cherry on the top of it about your bill, forwarding the ability to give testimonials in print.
Okay. Well, in one of the future sessions that you and I have, I want to talk more about the Maxim Labs great health testimonial raid of Hood River, Oregon, because I think everybody in America needs to know what happened in Hood River, Oregon on April 2011. This was the most horrendous misuse of governmental power that I have heard of since I went into a little health food store in Oregon and became red hot. Now, here's the story. In April 2011, the federal government conducted what is now known as the Great Health Testimonial Raid of Hood River, Oregon. Maxim Labs are owned by Jim Cole. I want everybody to know about Jim Cole, and I want you to have him on your program. He's one of the greatest living scientists and people. He sits right up there with Joe Wallach and the quality of products he puts out. In the Great Health Testimonial Raid, Jim Cole's personal home and other businesses which he owns in Hood River, Oregon, were invaded by over 47, you got that? 47 heavily armed federal agencies and several local police. They came in with guns drawn, yelling and frightening the 6 unarmed women working in the various locations. Now, you know that we don't need 47 people to go into a little vitamin company and make a seizure. Prior to the Great Raid, Jim Cole had been selling his supplements to thousands of dedicated, grateful, satisfied customers for over a decade with no ill effects and with few complaints. So great was the appreciation of many hundred customers that they sent testimonials. The testimonials simply told how Cole's supplements had worked for them and their loved ones in various ways, including autism. However, in October 2010, Maximum Labs received the FDA warning telling Jim Cole that he was to remove all these testimonials from his website. And that's what our bill will do. It will open up that battle, and Jim Cole will be one of our heroes. And I can't tell you how grateful I was to hear what you just said. I'm going to play that. I want to get a tape of that so I can play it over and over again, because you have just promised that we're going to open up the next war. At 91, I would like to live another 10 years and start to win this great testimonial war. Thank you, Dr. Glidden, for making that pledge.
Well, Clinton, it's my pleasure. And, you know, we're all in this together. And with the technology that we have at our disposal, with the agency of the Longevity Coalition of grassroots individuals all around the world, it's not just in the United States, all around the world, but certainly within the United States, we have the means, we have the method, we certainly have the motivation. And so we are all in here together, brother. You wait. We are going to kick this baby into second gear here. Ladies and gentlemen, visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com. Right there on the front page, click on the link that says Clinton Miller, and then open up the bill. And in the next couple of days, we're going to have a form letter also that you will be able to sign to get this ball rolling. And I'm going to spearhead this with a special page on my website. Clint Miller, I look forward to having you back in the future, buddy. It is an honor and a privilege to talk to you. Now, keep up the good work at 91. And if you stick with me, I will give you 10 more years, maybe 20 more, Clint. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Is it going to be Monday or Saturday?
I'll talk to you, Clint, off air. It's probably going to be sometime next week. I'm thinking next Wednesday, but I'll talk to you off air about that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's give it up for Clinton Miller. Stick around. I'm taking your calls when we come back, 866-582-9933. So we've been across the time spectrum here today. We started with a 7-year-old, and we ended up with a 91-year-old. For goodness sake, that leaves you and me in the middle to forward the movement here. Forward the movement. Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. We will make a difference. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. at the Miami Airport Marriott in Miami. That's 1201 Northwest 42nd Avenue in Miami. A health lecture, free health lecture. The American Health Paradox and what you can do with science-based, clinically verified naturopathic medical treatments to support and promote the ability of your body to recover its health. Don't miss it. We're going right to the phones now. Dave has been hanging on forever. Dave, thanks for the call. You are live.
Wow, Doc, that was an awesome show. I don't know how to follow up, but here goes. My wife has been experiencing some dermatitis around the vajayjay, and her GYN has put her on some kind of cream, and it goes away for a couple of weeks and then comes back. She's on all the products. She's talked to you last month, and she's doing pretty good, but, you know, that they told her it was dermatitis, but who knows? That's been on for about a year.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's just a nonsense diagnosis. I mean, that dermatitis is Latin for inflammation of the skin. I mean, you already knew that there was an inflammation of the skin going in there. So dermatitis, that's just a non-diagnosis, right? So I'm assuming that they checked for yeast infections. Did they do a check for yeast infection?
Yes.
And it came back negative?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. How long has this been present? How long has the dermatitis
It's been going on and off for about a year.
And how long has she been doing the longevity supplements?
She's been on the longevity since April of last year, but she has been gluten-free now for about 2 weeks.
All right. So did the dermatitis come before or come after the longevity?
It was before the longevity, I believe.
Okay. So here's what I would do.
Let me say this. She's been on whey protein powder for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And right after she started, she got a rash on her forearms and on her, like, around her love handles.
Yeah.
And she stopped taking it. And then I heard a commercial that somebody taking whey powder got a rash around his eyes, and it lasted 5 weeks, and then it went away for good. And, I know the whey powder can be a detox, so I told her to keep taking it. So she started taking it again, and then that other rash showed up.
Okay, so and this is an excellent thing to talk about, Dave. This is excellent, man. Now, this makes you the smartest man in class. Now, look. There's a difference between a detoxification reaction, which quite frankly is an urban myth. There's only a few instances in which the body actually has a detox reaction. It's not really a detox reaction. It's more appropriately called a Herxheimer reaction. That's if you have a lot of yeast in your body or a lot of little parasites in your body or a lot of bacteria in your body, and you get on board with a particular program and it kills all of those microorganisms. When you get a massive die-off of microorganisms overnight in your body, the die-off overwhelms your body's ability to eliminate them, efficiently and appropriately. It's kind of like the water in your sink getting backed up when there's a clog in the drain. And you can get momentary negative fevers and chills and all other kinds of reactions that are a function of this massive die-off of microorganisms provoked by whatever it was that you did. But other than that, detoxification reactions, if they do happen, they only happen when you're on a detox program. All kinds of funny things can happen when you go on a therapeutic fast or you do colonic irrigation or stuff like that. But a reaction like this provoked by a nutritional supplement is not detox. A rash like this, a condition like this provoked by a nutritional supplement is an allergic reaction. And there's a difference between the two. Now, you can only have an allergic reaction to a protein. You can't have an allergic reaction to anything other than a protein. And, of course, this is protein, right? I mean, it's 100% protein, right? So
the whey, and then we've been eating a lot of eggs.
Well, all right, but look, there's a million different types of protein. There's fish protein, there's egg protein, there's beef protein, there's nut protein, rice and beans have protein in it. A lot of things have protein in it. Even vegetables have protein in them.
Right.
So just because you're allergic to one protein doesn't mean you're necessarily allergic to another. For instance, you can have a drop-dead classic allergy to chicken eggs, but you're perfectly fine if you eat quail eggs or duck eggs or goose eggs, right? It's interesting. So the fact that she's having an allergic reaction, that's what it sounds like to me, is what's happening with the whey protein. Number one, that means she's allergic to that particular protein, so she needs to just stop eating it. You eat it instead because it's a good product, but she has an allergy to it apparently, so she should stop having it, number one. Number two, any type of an allergic reaction from our point of view is caused by, when we trace it back to the root cause, the most probable root cause of an allergic reaction, the thing that made your body develop antibodies to that protein in the first place, is a facultative weakness in your small intestine, and guess what drives that? Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. So from my point of view, anybody that has any allergic reaction whatsoever, and I don't care what it is, man, I don't care if it's a pollen allergy or a mold or mildew allergy or a classical food allergy like a peanut allergy or whatever the heck it is, an allergic reaction we trace back to the root cause of destruction of the intestinal villi by wheat, barley, rye, and oats. So for your wife, just because of her allergic history, she needs to be gluten-free. And going gluten-free will go a long way towards helping her gut to come back. Now, what I would dial in here for the dermatitis that the MDs have so ineptly named this, better. It's an apt name, but it's an inept diagnosis. What I would do is I would increase her consumption of essential EFA+. I would give her 12 EFA+ a day, 4 with breakfast, 4 with lunch, 4 with dinner, and I would also get her the root beer belly. Get her the root beer belly.
She got that. She started on that recently.
Okay, great. Now, another thing that she can do, because of the presumptive, problem in the small intestine here.
She also had her appendix out when she was a young girl.
Well, all right, so that's drop dead. All right, then that's just drop dead. She's had a problem with gluten her entire life.
Right.
And every time she ate it, it's been whittling away at her health. So
right.
To get on the other side of that now, another thing that you can do, because, again, this isn't rocket science, right? Everything in the digestive tract is connected. It's like one long chain of dominoes. She can start to take for a couple months, and she should only need to do this and the root beer belly for a couple of months. Have her take 1 or 2 or 3 ultimate enzymes at the beginning of every meal.
I think she just got that also.
Oh, all right, good. Well, see how easy this is.
Yeah,
Right.
She talked to you on the 15th, and you got her on that, and she's doing the apple cider vinegar. She was on the Levoxyl. She was on the
Synthroid?
Heartburn medicine for 15 years, bastards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm with you 100%. So this is how it goes. So she's got, there's been a significant amount of weakness in her digestive tract, which, of course, has been facilitated, number 1, by the diet, and number 2, by just stupid medical treatments.
Right.
But the good news is she can recover, but it's not going to happen overnight. But one of the things that you can do to make the dermatitis go away faster, ostensibly anyway, to support and promote the health of her skin, is to up the ante with the essential EFA pluses, EFA plus, until this goes away. Add the root beer belly, which you've done.
How often should she be taking that?
Well, I would do what I recommend for people with the root beer belly is you get 1 box of that stuff every time the seasons change.
Okay.
That's a funny thing to say, but 4 times a year is a good recommendation for that, and the easiest way to remember that is, it's the first day of spring, I better get my root beer belly. Oh, it's the first day of summer, I better get my root beer belly, right?
Right.
That's an easy way to do it. That's how I remember it.
Okay.
And the other thing is, we got to stop punching ourselves in the arm, right? So she should stop immediately the whey protein powder, and that should go a long way towards helping her get on the other side of it. Sound like a deal?
So we do have some hemp protein. Should she be taking that?
Well, go ahead. I mean, you've got it. That's a good product if she's not allergic to it, so no harm and no foul.
She hadn't seemed to been, but we really weren't taking it. We were making, banana bread with substituting a cup of, we'd put a cup of hemp powder and a cup of wheat flour. But we stopped doing that. Yeah,
so you can do the hemp, no problem. Whatever as long as you don't have an allergic reaction. I mean, she might have an allergic reaction to it. She could have an allergic reaction to it.
Right, exactly.
But if she takes it and there's no negative reaction, then she's good to, she'll
have to start the food diary.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Again, Dave, which makes you the smartest man in class.
Well, I got to tell you, you're the smartest teacher in class.
Well, listen, hey, we're all in this together. And, right, all things being equal, if you can pass the driver's license test, you can figure this stuff out. I mean, it's one of life's greatest ironies, don't you think? We've been paying hundreds of dollars, right, for medical insurance premiums to give us access to people that aren't even as smart as a 7-year-old, for goodness sake.
Right, that was an awesome testimony, by the way.
I mean, and this is where we're at. I'm very excited about the Clinton Miller bill, by the way. I'm very excited
definitely.
about this. I mean, really, we have a tool right now to make a significant change, a significant political change in the way that things happen here in the United States. And it's because of people like you, Dave,
Well, I got to tell you, Doc, I am ready to hand deliver that bill to the steps of my Capitol with a pitchfork and a torch.
Well, you know, you can leave the torch at home for now.
Well, I might need it. I told you before, I'm legally blind, so.
All right, so yeah, you need it as a walking aid.
Right.
You go, Dave. You're the greatest, man. You're very inspiring. You keep up the good work down there, and keep calling me back with track reports, because this is what we're all about, results. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. And I lost another pound.
All right, even better. Hey, I hope you never find it again. I hope you never find it again.
I'm not going to stop taking this stuff unless I go broke.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we roll here on Fire Your MD Now. Please check out the website of the same name, fireyourmdnow.com. Sign up for the longevity button there. Get involved with the health recovery program here, and visit me tomorrow, 11 a.m., at the Miami Airport Marriott, 12001 Northwest 42nd Avenue, right next to the airport in Miami. We're giving a free health lecture. Registration's at 11. The lecture begins at 11:30. We're going to go for a couple of hours. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everybody in your life who lives in Florida to beat feet to the Miami Airport Marriott. For Dr. Peter Glidden, that's tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, by the way, 1201 Northwest 42nd Avenue in Miami. What a day, a year, a life it's been, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting both barrels here today on Fire Your MD Now. We're going right back to the phones next. Dennis is up next. Thanks for the call, Dennis. How can I help?
Yeah, doctor. I've found out I have a bone disease. Now, I know your stuff don't cure bone diseases, but I was just wondering if you got something that can grow cartilage or bones back or help it out a little bit.
Well, here we go, buddy. So how much do you weigh?
About 165.
Okay, good. So here's what I would recommend that you do to support the structure and fix the function of your body in the face of a diagnosis of an arthritis or osteoporosis or some type of, degenerative bone disease, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to support the structure of your body and help your body to fix its function, and that's never a bad idea. So what I would recommend is, at 160 pounds per month, I would do one Healthy Start Pack, 3 bottles of selenium, 1 Healthy Start Pack, 3 bottles of selenium, 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count, 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count, and if it's in the budget, I would finish it up with 1 bottle of digestive enzymes a month. 1 bottle of digestive enzymes, 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count, 3 bottles of selenium, 1 Healthy Start Pack. Oh, and 1 extra bottle, I almost forgot, my favorite, 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy a month. 1 Healthy Start Pack, 1 Cal Toddy, 3 Glucogel 240, and 3 selenium per month. And a cherry on the top of that cake is 1 bottle of digestive enzymes a month. Now, in addition to this, Dennis, you must, I must, everybody must, even little Illyrian in Seattle at 7 years old knows this, must eliminate the 10 bad foods. Must eliminate the 10 bad foods. Why? Because what we're attempting to do here is fill your body's nutritional tank up. And, for goodness sake, if you go to the gas station and you're filling your truck up and the gas tank has pinholes in it, well, that's not a good idea. You're pouring gas in the top, it's leaking out the bottom before it gets into the engine. That's not a good idea. The same thing happens with your body's nutrients. If you take the nutritional supplements to fill your body's nutritional tank up so it has the raw materials necessary to support and promote its structure and function, if we're doing that, but we're eating all the wrong foods, it's like pouring gas into a bucket that's got holes in it. It's not a good idea. So this is, the 1-2 punch here. So we clean our diet up, and we fill the body's nutritional tank up, we get out of the way, and we look to see how far back the body bounces. And honestly, since I've been working with Dr. Wallach, the sky's the limit for how far back your body is able to bounce. You wouldn't believe the things that I've seen people recover from with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. So give that program a chance. And if you'd like help ordering the supplements or getting them at the wholesale price, the number to call, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. Give it a try. And when we're on board with a health recovery program, the intention of which is to support and promote the structure and function of your body, I like that phrase, to support the structure and fix the function of the body, support the structure and fix the functionality of the body, you expect to see positive change every 14 days. You expect something to improve, something to brighten up. Might not be the stuff you're taking the supplements for initially. You know, your energy might get better, your sleep might get better, your appetite might get better, and then the knee pain starts to go away. It's like that. But every 14 days you want to see something get better, and that's what we lean on here. Dennis, I wish I had more time to talk to you. Thanks for hanging on so long today. Give that number a call. Give those supplements a try. Clean up your diet. And call me back in 2 or 3 weeks with a report. Thank you so much for the call. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it today, haven't we? It's been a full hour of fun. We started at 7 years of age. We went to 91 years of age. We're talking about politics. We're talking about how easy this business is. Join us. Join our cultural revolution. It's a good cultural revolution here, not the nasty one that the Chinese propose. This is good stuff all the way around. And join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Miami Airport Marriott. Until we meet again, I remain your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden, thanking you for your time. I'll see you around campus.